Welcome to a Crash Course Special Edition episode. Crash Course Government and Politics by Anna and Jacqueline.
Hey Anna, should a school be required to get a warrant before searching a student's property? What do you think?
Before answering this question, let's take a look at what government thinks about this controversial.
Okay.
The answer is no. School officials do not need probable cause or warrant to search students, but they do need reasonable suspicion. According to the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. This means that police officers must have probable cause and acquire a warrant before conducting a search on our personal space.
However, over the last few decades, gun violence in school brought the topic of school safety into public conscience and moved school safety onto the U.S. public agenda. One tool for keeping schools safe is the use of student searches. Schools must strike a balance between the students' right to privacy and the need to maintain school safety.
In 1985, the New Jersey v. TLO court case finalized the court decision once and for all. The U.S. Supreme Court concluded that schools are allowed to conduct reasonable warrantless searches and seizures of students with probable cause standard that apply to searches under the Fourth Amendment.
Even though they don't have to obtain a warrant, school officials still can't search your things for no reason.
School officials need reasonable suspicion before searching your things, and there's a two-part test that determines the reasonableness of the search. So the first one is the search is justified at its inception, meaning that there are reasonable grounds for suspecting that the search will reveal evidence that the student had violated or is violating the law or school rules.
Let's take a look at a real-life example.
Oh my god, are you vaping? No, ma'am. Let me search your bag.
This example contained reasonable suspicions because the teacher saw the student vaping.
Second, the search was reasonable in regard to the circumstances that triggered the search, meaning that the scope of the search needs to be reasonable and not excessively intrusive in light of the age of the student, the sex of the student, the nature of the alleged infraction, and the object of the search.
Let's take a look at court case examples where reasonable suspicion is provided or not provided. In the ASV State of Florida court case, 4 students huddled together, one with money in his hand and another with his hand in his pocket. This does not provide reasonable suspicion. In the New Hampshire v. Drake court case, an anonymous phone call advising an administrator that a student will be bringing drugs to school, coupled with the student's reputation as a drug dealer, creates reasonable suspicion to search the student's pocket and book bag. In the Commonwealth v. Carey court case, a report made by 2 students to a school official that another student possesses a gun at school constitutes reasonable suspicion to search the student and his locker. In the Bridgman v. New Trier High School District, an experienced drug counselor's observation of a student who appears distracted and had bloodshot eyes and dilated pupils justifies taking the student's blood pressure and pulse. In the De Roches v. Caprio court case, the fact that the search of all but one student in a class fails to review allegedly stolen property gives school officials reasonable suspicion to search that student. In the Burnham v. West court case, the odor of marijuana in the hall does not provide reasonable suspicion to search all students' book bag, purses, and pockets.
Additionally, school officials may conduct a search without reasonable suspicion if the student voluntarily consents to the search.
However, when consent is granted, officials may conduct the search only within the boundaries of the consent. So if a student consents to the search of her purse, an administrator may not search her locker unless the search provides reasonable suspicion to search the locker.
Let's take a look at another real-life example.
Oh Oh my gosh, are you vaping? No, ma'am. Can I search your bag? You have to. There has to be a vape in here.
Hey! You don't have my consent to do that.
In this example, the student consents to the search of her purse, but then the teacher also searches her locker without asking her for permission. That's wrong because she has neither reasonable suspicion nor the student consent to search her locker. So, back with our two hosts of the day.
Anna, should a school be required to get a warrant before searching a student's property? What do you think?
After this video, I think you can answer this question by yourself.